until the end of this year or next. They're just understaffed, and that's part of what this hiring is about. Your next chart, Steve, talks about audits for the wealthy, which is one of the goals most people agree is probably a good idea for the government to check up on the wealthiest Americans, but those rates have plummeted as well.
Yeah. So as you made the point, processing paperwork has been slowing down, and this money will speed that up. But perhaps equally importantly, as you also just said, that because of the shortfall of funding, there's been an enormous drop in the number of audits, particularly of wealthy people. And so this chart shows you 4 different income groups and what's happened to them. If you look at the turquoise group at the top, people who made over $10 million a year,
there you have it.
22%, almost a 1 in 4 chance of being audited back in 2010. Today, they have less than a 4% chance of being audited today. I'll give you another example from the third line down, which is people who make over $1 million. Back in 2010, there were 41,000 audits of them. Today, there's 14,000 audits of them. And part of the problem for the IRS has been these audits are very complicated, not surprisingly, and they simply have not had the personnel to do them. And so you've had this dramatic drop in the rate of someone with a lot of money getting audited.
Last chart, Steve, is about misreporting. What are we talking about here, and the fact that it rises with the income level?
Well, first of all, if you think you only have a 4% chance of getting audited, you presumably are likely to take more chances in terms of the kinds of deductions you claim and how you report your taxes. You can euphemistically call some of this misreporting. You can call it tax avoidance. You can even call it tax evasion. But it also goes up dramatically with income. And so you can see all the way over on the right, someone who made $10 million or more on average, and this is using IRS data that Larry Summers and a colleague collected and turned into a very effective study. But IRS data shows that if you made over $10 million a year, you on average, quote, misreported, unquote, $1.4 million of your income. If you drop almost all the way down to the left and you take someone who made $200,000 to $500,000 a year, they, quote, misreported more like 7.5% of the year. So $9,000 for the person at the bottom, $1.4 million for the person of the top. And that's because more sophisticated people have more ways, frankly, to misreport income. It's estimated that the new $80 billion that you referenced will produce $200 billion of tax collections that the IRS would not otherwise have gotten. Larry Summers and others believe the actual number is considerably more.